שמש דקה ומרפא בכנפיה.
Naomi is totally finished, humanly, psychologically, economically, spiritually. And the Bible text doesn't tell us in what tone, what atmosphere. She said to Ruth, "Look, your sister-in-law has turned around to her nation and to her gods." Maybe she said it in a reproaching way, maybe in a disappointed way. Turn around, follow your sister-in-law. We don't know exactly the atmosphere, and the Bible text gives us hints, but we have to imagine it. But Ruth, in any way, she answered, "Do not urge me to leave you and to turn away from following you." This, what I translated here with "to urge you," is much tougher. It says, "Do not afflict me. Do not touch me. Do not come close and put me under pressure." It may be a prayer. This verb may be understood as an urgent quest, but it might be also, very often it's used if somebody hurts somebody else. So it could be that Ruth said to Naomi, "Don't hurt me anymore. What are you doing? You already hurt me. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay overnight, I will stay overnight." And these words include, where you are going to suffer, I will suffer with you. I will be present, I will participate in every lot, every blow of fate. Whatever happens to you, it will hit us together. So, in a sense, Ruth decided here at the same time to go into a life of poverty, humiliation, maybe loneliness. I always have it in the back of my head that the relationship between Naomi and Ruth is a model for our relationship as Gentile Christians with the Jewish people. And in this case, it haunts me to think, had the Christians of Europe understood this message of the book scroll of Ruth, of this prophetic teaching narrative, had they better understood it in past centuries, history would have been different. This is not only true for the hatred of the Jews in the Middle Ages. This is true up to modern times. Just imagine if Hitler would not have just been able to put the Jews into concentration camps, but if he would have had to imprison all the Christians, the Christian churches. The final solution of the Jewish question would probably not have been feasible at all for him. It was a brother from a Swiss Brethren church who alerted me to the sequence that it talks here. First the people and then God. And he underlines and says only Israel has the true God. We often, depending on our forming, say theology first and then God, or say a certain kind of behavior first and then God. If you're so embittered, like Naomi, you cannot be spiritual. Or culture first, a certain style of music first and then God. For the Jewish rabbinic tradition, it is very important that Ruth made a decision to never ever forsake the Torah of Israel and the uniqueness of the Lord of Israel, the God of Israel. And this stands in stark contrast if Naomi talks about Orpah and says she went to her people and to her God. Ruth emphasizes, I will never do that. I join you, Naomi, and accept the lordship of Naomi's God and also the commandments that come with it. Your people is my people. Your God is my God. Where you die, there I will die, and there I will be buried together with you. This is not a decision that was temporary, it was final. And Naomi's reality was somehow suffused with death. Ruth identifies with it and says, I will go with you even into despair, even after death. I will be buried where you are going to be buried. She leaves it aside, and we have to understand that in the original biblical context where Joseph had asked his brothers or his children, his grandchildren, to take his bones back to the land. Or Jacob was, with an immense effort, brought back to Hebron. We have this saying that they were gathered to their fathers. Elimelech, Machlon and Kilion were not gathered to their fathers, and Ruth forgoes that in order to stay with Naomi. It's an oath formula that she says there, so shall the Lord do to me, and so shall he continue to do, that endangers her. And the interesting thing is that she does not call unto the name of Chemosh, the Moabite god, but unto the name of the God of Israel, unto the Lord. And she says, only death will separate us. Actually, what is written here in Hebrew, it's more like, if death would be able to separate us. So the commitment of Ruth to Naomi goes beyond death.